Okay, so today's topic, we're going to be talking about what Colin Cowherd said on the Herd Show. He talked about Baker Mayfield and the future concerning Baker Mayfield as continuing to be a starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Now, if you've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. There have been several news outlets that are reporting that if Baker Mayfield does not turn it around immediately, which is the next game, there's reports out there that suggest that the Carolina Panthers are prepared to set Baker Mayfield on the bench, and they're going to explore their options on what they have on their roster moving forward as far as plugging another quarterback in as a starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. That news does not look good for Baker Mayfield. And if you look at the landscape of what's going on in the NFL and NFL teams, there's not a lot of teams that are going to kick the tires around for one Baker Mayfield when this season is over with. I only know maybe a handful of teams, maybe two teams. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers will kick the tires around for a Baker Mayfield, but I feel like they feel like they have someone already there in place. At the simple fact of they drafted this quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They feel like that's going to be their successor. And judging on how much success he has this year, it really depends on how much longevity he's going to have or longer leash he's going to have as fighting for a position, a starting position, as far as being a full-time starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But if you look at the 49ers situation, Jimmy, they're not too fond of Jimmy over there at the 49ers organization. The quarterback that they drafted, the Trey Lance kid, they're not highly confident in him. I think I butchered his name. I do apologize. Maybe the 49ers will kick the tires around for a possibility of a Baker Mayfield signing a one-year contract to prove himself as a starting quarterback with the 49ers. You got the Washington Commanders that may be interested in another starting quarterback. The Indianapolis Colts may be interested, as getting a quarterback. And the Texans, possibility he can go back to Texas. There have been a lot of reports out there that suggest that Jerry Jones is interested in Baker Mayfield, but it seems like he got options that he at his leisure that he needs to support for the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott he paid a lot of money for Dak Prescott. But nevertheless, I just don't see a lot of opportunities out there for Baker Mayfield to be a long-term, full-time starting quarterback next season. So Colin Cowherd is predicting that maybe Baker Mayfield should think about life outside of football and retire from becoming a starting quarterback in the National Football League and think about going into broadcasting. Now, he's very charismatic. He does have social media presence. It's a little modest than some. I feel like Baker Mayfield is the type of individual that says things that keep people constantly guessing and wanting more and more. There's been a ton of quarterbacks that went from being starting quarterbacks to in the broadcasting booth. More recently, Troy Aikman has been he was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo has been in the broadcasting booth. He was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys as well. If you look at that track record, it seems like a lot of former quarterbacks make excellent broadcasters in the booth or on the sidelines, which I feel like if it was up to me, I would place Baker on the sidelines, interacting with, his peers and interacting with the coaches and the players on the sideline. I feel like the constant struggle of the jawing going on and the chess plays that's going on with him interacting with the athletes and the coaches can be a plus, a benefit for a lot of broadcasters out there that may be interested in signing Baker as becoming a broadcaster. Now, Troy Aikman had a very long legacy with the Dallas Cowboys, had a long career as becoming as an NFL quarterback. The same can be said for Tony Romo. If you look at Baker, he hasn't had a long, successful career as a quarterback for either the Cleveland Browns or the Carolina Panthers. Now, he had some moments here and there. He did, and let's just, not put total salt on the game on Baker. He did do a lot of things for the Cleveland Browns. Got them to, at first, before they got Baker, they were winless, and he got them into the win column. He got them into the playoffs. So Baker has done some things for Cleveland that, as of right now, hasn't been done in a long, long time. We'll have to see what Deshaun Watson brings to the table for the Cleveland Browns. It seems like they are pleased with Deshaun Watson. They gave him all that money. They guaranteed his whole entire contract, and they got their man. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, if I was an owner, I would choose Deshaun Watson over Baker Mayfield. It's just that simple. Okay, I feel like Deshaun Watson is more talented than Baker Mayfield. Okay, if you're just looking at them on an athletic perspective. Now, if you look at them, what they do off the field, I feel more safer off the field with Baker Mayfield, other than Baker Mayfield sticking his foot in his mouth. If you look at Deshaun Watson, on the other hand, he was in that controversial thing with the massage therapist. That is not a good look for Deshaun Watson or the organization. But nevertheless, Baker Mayfield, going into broadcasting, I think he will have a better career as a broadcaster than a quarterback. Now, he had one advocate that was really supporting Baker Mayfield and really promoting him as a starting quarterback. And this one individual thought that Baker Mayfield was going to light it up, even with the Carolina Panthers. And that was one Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless is getting blasted on social media, as well as his colleagues in sports media. Even Shannon Sharp has been on Skip Bayless' neck. But nevertheless, he was the only advocate that was really supporting Baker Mayfield long-term as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. And now the possibility of him, this is be possibly his last opportunity to show to the world that he can be the long-term answer as a starting quarterback. It's dissolving right in front of his eyes. And like I said, if he doesn't turn it around immediately, which is the next opportunity, the next game, a lot of people are going to be chanting to bench Baker Mayfield. And the organization is not too fond, not too keen with Baker Mayfield. I'll be honest with you, this Carolina Panthers organization, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs this offseason. I think the general manager is going to be gone. I think the head coach is going to be gone. Baker Mayfield definitely going to be gone. And they're going to look for their next successor in the NFL draft as the next leader quarterback-wise for the Carolina Panthers. They're willing to start it all over again. Now, I will give Baker Mayfield this credit. I don't think a lot of people are going to give Baker Mayfield this credit. He did go to a team that's in turmoil. It's not a well-run organization. It's not a solid organization. So you have to be wary on that. But on the flip side of things, this was the only opportunity for Baker Mayfield. Not a lot of teams were willing to give up draft picks to have Baker Mayfield on their roster. Now, if Baker Mayfield was released by the Cleveland Browns, then I felt like that list would have increased. But I didn't think a lot of people wanted to give up a lot for Baker Mayfield. They rather prefer to pick up Baker Mayfield off the street, and it looked like that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.